So I want to introduce Green Fox Studio to everyone who's watching this. And to understand a bit of a backstory, we received an email from Green Fox letting us know that this was a studio that existed within a prison that helped the inmates to develop new skills with graphic design and to produce some incredible work as well. When we heard about that, we were completely blown away. Like, it had the whole of Creative Recruiters talking for a while there, because we just thought it was such a innovative, compassionate, creative thing to do to help these people to develop new skills and potentially, when they've done the time, to be able to leave and to enter the workforce in a really meaningful, powerful way. So to be able to chat to Kelly and Amanda today is actually a bit of a treat for me. And I thank both of you for your time today. I guess as a starting point, how did Green Fox Studios come to be in the first place?
So I guess it all started probably back in 2016 when Kelly and I started working together. We both worked in a corporate environment, and at that particular time, we had our families, and there was this real, we worked really well together, but there was this real desire to do something probably a little more meaningful. I studied psychology and was studying art therapy and going into the juvenile justice system when I had this wonderful opportunity to go and set up a design studio in a prison. And what graphic designer wouldn't jump on that one? So I did, and I did that under Work Restart at the time as their studio manager. But throughout that time, I would, I'd call Kelly and say, "There's this, we've got to do this. This is it. We need more." And that's pretty much the long and short of it. So back in October last year, we decided we would bring more to the outside as well as the inside, and that was really the foundations for Green Fox Studio.
That's brilliant. And so you currently have 32 people working within the studio, is that right?
That's correct.
And imagine that's a team in itself to manage, especially when they're being upskilled. How do you do this? This is almost like an incredible feat in itself.
Yeah, so on the inside, we have set up our own sort of curriculum that we set up. So as soon as we take on a new sort of candidate that we feel like will be a good fit for our studio, we put them through a 3-month training. And once they go through that, it is sort of because we are there and we are walking around with all of them, because it is. It's overwhelming how many people are in our studio, which is really exciting, but yes, at the same time, sometimes a little overwhelming because you're sort of pulled between so many people. But yeah, the fact is that these people really want to change their lives. And so when they come up to the studio, they are dedicated and they sit down and they put their headphones on and they study and they learn and they put their hand up if they have questions. And so the rest of the time, while they are going through that study, there's the successful candidates that move on to our working studio, and we can spend time with them and sort of do all the work that we provide for our clients on the outside.
What kind of range of work do they actually do? Because I'm looking at the email you sent. You mentioned that there's graphic design, there's animation, there's digital, there's virtual reality. This is sounding like a studio that's even more advanced than some of the design studios that we have down here in Melbourne. It's a pretty impressive range of work that's coming out of there.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag, and that's what we get. Like, I suppose for other creative agencies, you sort of look for a certain skill set. We can't really do that because we are inside a prison. But what we get is a large range of skill sets that we can bring in, and then we sort of tap into those and we see how we can progress those into the creative industry. So yeah, everybody is interested in something different. We have worked with some of the guys for a lot longer than I have, and they've developed their animation skills and their virtual reality skills, and a really long way. So yeah, it is a mixed bag, but you've got a mixed bag of really dedicated people.
Yeah. And what kind of clients have approached Green Fox Studios to do some work from? Obviously you can't go around naming names of companies, but what kind of industries, what kind of backgrounds are these clients? What kind of work have they got the team there to do?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose in the initial stages, we were really targeting those kind of SMEs, other not-for-profits, and social enterprises, because what we can offer those industries is, really competitive rate. We have, an amazing team of designers, and Kelly and I can mentor them through the process. So for those kind of smaller organizations or organizations that are limited by budget, obviously what we're offering is really viable for them. And at the same time, they also have the experience of actually working with Kelly or myself. So, it's a win-win for that. And then the other side of the business, which is purely the external side of the business, we tend to work with a lot more corporates and government clients. And I suppose we keep that externally just because we're limited by technology. I mean, what we have failed to say is that the prisoners don't have an internet connection. So they don't have email, and they don't have the World Wide Web, which means that so many of those resources that we almost rely on, designers, these guys actually don't have access to. So, even things as simple as, say, Typekit, they don't have access, they don't have Behance, and they can't save a Pinterest board, any of those things. So yeah, there's a few restrictions, and hence the reason that Kelly and I really wanted to set up this kind of multifaceted approach to what we were doing inside, because we actually do need to be outside as well. There is, for so many different reasons. Yeah.
I just see this as being such a wonderfully good karma business that can really impact people in the most incredibly positive way. What's been some of the stories of positive impact that you've experienced from this so far?
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose I'll answer this because I have been kind of in there for a few years now, and so what I've actually seen is some really, heartwarming kind of stories. In that, we work with dads in there. Some of them are fathers of 5, 7 kids, and unfortunately, their background has just meant that they weren't given the opportunities to pursue a creative passion or interest, and yet quite clearly they have the skills to do it. But the reality of life was that they had to get a job, had to make an income, This actually gives them the time, gives them the opportunity to do that. And I mean, from what we've actually seen, one guy that we work with, he's been there right since we started back in 2017, and his skills are unbelievable. I mean, go to our Facebook page, and he's created this little animation and this whole suite of characters in 3D. This is from a guy that had never touched an Adobe program 2.5 years ago. Now he has a handle on the full creative suite. I mean, he's our go-to for pretty much everything now, but I mean, it's just because he's so unbelievably talented. So, we have many of these though, and this is just it, and once they're actually released, it's really lovely to see that, it may not be that they've necessarily gone into the creative industries, but wow, they have left with confidence in themselves to be able to achieve, and to go out there and actually, work towards something.
sorry to say as well is about the guys that are inside, and when they do get to that sort of level of competency, they are able to train the new guys that come as well. Like the way the team works together is truly inspirational, and how they help each other and teach each other to draw and illustrate, and it's quite incredible.
Yeah, I can imagine even if they leave and don't go on to become graphic designers, just the fact that they have been able to realise that they have the capability to learn and be excited about something must be an incredible resource that they can tap into personally once they get back out and integrate into the larger world. So yeah, again, this is what I think has completely blown me away about what you guys do. It's just what's been, I guess, some of the, I'm imagining you're phoning a lot of places or reaching out to them, explaining what you guys do. I imagine there's going to be people who are really inspired, but there's possibly going to be also some challenges that go on there, particularly around the stigma that might be attached. What have you found in that regard, and what has been done to help work with that?
This is huge, which is really what I think we're working towards overcoming, and I still believe that we've got a long way to go. I think the fact that Kelly and I both genuinely believe that everybody deserves a second chance, that people make mistakes in their life, and some of these people will live with that mistake for the rest of their life, and well after they've done their time in jail. And Kelly and I have both worked with some of the most well-educated, intelligent, just delightful people that have been in prison for 19, 20 years. And I think, yes, we're questioned, why we want to do this, why we would work, why two Queensland mums would want to work with a bunch of prisoners, and why are we doing this? We've both had successful careers, and what are you doing? Ultimately, because if one person can make a change to so many lives, then imagine what a small handful of people can do to change so many lives. And I think that it's really important now, that people in the design and advertising industry can see that, that they could play a part in this as well. It's life-changing.
And I guess if anyone watching this has a desire or wishes to support what you guys do in any way, what's the best way they can do that for you?
I'll look for the creative industry, really love contact with us, and perhaps open their doors and to some of our guys who leave and are trained up, and sort of to help with employment on the outside, whether it's by contract or actually letting them come into the studio and do some work experience. That would be wonderful. For other companies, work with us, give us a shot.
Well, look, I certainly hope people, are willing to open their doors and to allow some of the people that have been in there to come in and see what they do, or to contact you as well to utilise your services. Fingers crossed that happens for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And may I just add to that anyone that is in Brisbane is more than welcome to get in touch with us, and we'd be happy to show them around the studio. If they want to give a lecture or send us an amazing tutorial, any of their work, anything. We just really love that engagement with the community. The guys that we have in there really value it. It's really important.
That's a really great request, because I can imagine with no internet access in there, it's going to be increasingly harder for them to be across what the current design trends are. How do you help them in keeping across those trends?
That's all up to us. We have to do. That's really is our job.
Download stuff, take it in and show them, and
lots of tutorials. We download lots of work from everywhere that might be, you know, inspirational depending on what we're working on in the studio. So, for example, if we're working on, you know, tender documents or submissions, etc., we'll download like really beautiful examples and show them those. If we're working on corporate identity or branding, we show them that. We show them amazing animation and yeah, just anything that kind of grabs us now. We're constantly on the hunt for, so that we can just, yeah, just show them this is what's happening out there. And I mean, that said, it's also our point of difference. That is what actually makes it unique, is that they don't have access to that. So a lot of our work where Kelly and I get involved is to refine that, whereas they're coming up with these unique ideas from, you know, from all these 4 concrete walls, basically. So yeah, it's really interesting to watch it evolve.
Well, make sure I include the URL to your website on this video so that people can get in touch with you if they wish to. And
Yeah.
Kelly and Amanda, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today, because you know what you guys do is unique, it's innovative, it's brilliant, it's compassionate, it's changing lives in a way that, you know, most people never even thought of. And you know, I think there's many people out there that would admire you enormously and be inspired by the work you do.
Thank you so much.